What's up, League fam, and welcome to another YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, then please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that notification button on so you know whenever new content comes out. I just want to say first and foremost that I'm a little flustered because I had recorded 2 videos and realized that my mic was muted. So this is my second go around going about this. So forgive me if I am a little flustered or if I sound a little sick, because I am kind of sick, by the way. But I'm going to do my best. So I'm up against a Senna, and this is my first matchup against a Senna. So I don't really know how it's going to go. And when in doubt, I like to play safe, especially because Vladimir, late scaling champ. So one thing I do want to say up front is that you're not going to see the most exciting gameplay in this video, but I did want to highlight it because there are going to be games, a lot of games like this where you just really can't do anything just because of the lane matchups. You constantly get shoved under a turret and it can seem really boring, especially there's a lot of stuff happening around the rest of the map. But one thing I wanted to show is that you could still find small advantages. Also, you can control what you can control, and then there are things that you just can't control, right? And so what you'll see in this game is that my team fortunately does really well around the map, which then allows them to kind of begin the pressure mid lane, whereas before I'm absolutely useless in this early game. Senna just basically outranges me, she outtrades me, and there's nothing I can really do. And since it's a new matchup, I'm kind of feeling around, seeing what the damage is like, and I find out really quickly that I cannot trade early in the game. So unfortunately, I'm kind of useless, but that doesn't mean you can't make an impact later. You just got to be patient. And I think if anything, hopefully this game shows that. And what you'll see is that I end up staying pretty even in CS, which is great considering how much pressure Senna had on me this entire laning phase. And I don't die to her, which is great because she isn't able to snowball a lead or capitalize on that punishment. In fact, she's not really able to roam that much. I keep pretty decent vision, and so we're just going to see that. So you can see I'm playing back here. The wave is going to push to me, so there's no sense in me taking unnecessary trades. I'm just going to let it push into me and try to sustain back up. Now, one of Vlad's great strengths is that he has a lot of sustain. You just got to be wary of bad trades because if you get too low, then obviously it's going to be very hard to stay in the lane no matter how much sustain you have. So with Vlad, taking small trades are okay, especially later on as your Q has a lower cooldown. You get some items to help with CDR as well. You can heal back up a lot in lane. But early on, it's on such a long cooldown, so you want to be a little bit careful when taking trades, knowing when you can take damage and when you should probably stay away. Using your W very sparingly. I used it there just because I didn't want to take too much damage, but I am susceptible to a dive now. I still have flash and ignite, so that I have that going for me. But again, I have no pressure here. Now, one thing I see a big mistake with a lot of lower elo players is that when you're shoved into a turret like this, they'll be spamming for a gank, saying, "Jungler, come gank. I'm shoved under a turret all game." The problem with that is that that's actually a really bad time for your jungler to gank because your minions, there are no minions for you. There's a ton of minions for the enemy. So once you start autoing the champion, those minions are going to hit both of you guys. You're going to take a lot of damage, especially early on. Those minions hurt. But not just that, you're going to miss out on a ton of XP because you're trying to get the enemy champ instead of focusing on the minions. You're going to miss out on a lot of gold. You're also leeching XP too if any of your minions die because you have 2 of your teammates there. So right here, Kha'Zix tries to gank. It's not really a good gank. In fact, if you play something like Vladimir or Kassadin, even pre-6, Rise pre-6 or whatever, don't expect a lot of jungler help because you don't provide a lot of CC, especially as Vlad. You're really weak early. You most likely won't win a 2v2. This is why I do like to take Ignite, by the way, because sometimes if you get the enemy laner low enough, you can use an Ignite and keep that to your advantage with the kill pressure there. But like I said, don't expect a lot of jungler help, and that's okay because honestly, their presence is probably better spent in other lanes where they can have a higher probability of getting a kill or something like that. So you can see Senna is just harassing the crap out of me. My CS is pretty bad. But again, I'm just trying to do my best at staying in the lane and not giving up this lane control. I'm just trying, and I don't have teleports. So it's not like I could just back and teleport in lane. So I have to be really careful here and just try to survive until I can get Senna to back. The thing is, Senna will, if she is not smart with it, she'll use up all her mana. If I can force her to trade somewhat, then she'll have to back eventually because she'll run out of that. With Vlad, no mana involved. You can sustain, especially with Doran's shield. So that's why that's a really good starting item, especially in the matchups that you're going to get outpoked. So you can see I'm just going to forward a little bit because, again, very boring. But my goal here is I know I can't win a 1v1 fight here. Actually, I think I'll stay here for a second because I think I do something really dumb here. But I want to show it anyways because dumb plays, good plays, it's all worth mentioning because at least even for me, I can, learn to improve from that. So you can see here I got a big wave under turret, and I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to try to all in her because she's just pressuring me nonstop. I need to get her to back off. And so I know that if I can just go in on her, maybe I can force her to recall. I think the only mistake that I do here is I flash on her, which I don't think I needed a flash. But I am trying to take away as much pressure as she has. So again, able to clear that wave. She gets really low, so now I can try to back and get some items. That's really why I did that. However, again, my mistake is I don't think I should have flashed. I did, and that's that. So Kane shows up mid lane. So I get I get a Codex and a Sapphire. Wait, what's that? Ruby Crystal. Sapphire's the blue one. But that's another thing. I need to get these names right because I'm more of a picture guy. I like picture books, comic books, that sort of thing. I'm not much of a reader, so you will find very often a time I know what a thing does, but I don't know what it's called because I just didn't look at the name. All right, so again, I'm trying to hold this wave here, right here, but I don't know where Senna is. One thing I want to point out here is you see this ward up here. That's a great ward to put, especially if you're a champ that can't roam with your opponent. So this ward right here will help me see if Senna decides to roam somewhere. So if she tries to shove and then go somewhere, this ward will help me see that. Just keep in mind that you don't want to put it too deep because if you put it past these two pillars, it might be seen by the turret and they can just destroy it. So that's why I like putting that ward there. Also, it's what a lot of high elo players do. So when in doubt, do what they do. Honestly, but it has helped me a lot. It doesn't mean that your teammates won't die because you know the old adage, you can ping until you can't ping anymore, but they still won't listen, and then they'll still get mad at you for not following up. So you just got to do what you can to control the situation, but play to your strengths. You know, as Vladimir, you're not going to be able to follow up all the time with roam. So this ward helps you get information and it helps you assist your team even if you can't technically be there. So Senna did get a kill, not on me, but she was able to snipe Soraka on the bot lane. That's unfortunate. But again, I'm able to stay up in levels, and I know at this point I'm pretty even in CS, if not slightly ahead, and that's all I can do. I could try to force something. Okay, so I'm slightly down. I'm like 4 CS down. But you could see that I don't want to force anything. Like, I don't want to try to make some crazy play, which will just put me further behind. I need to scale. And right now, the best way for me to scale is to stay even. So I'm question marking, where is Senna? I don't know, but hopefully they get a read there. I did see her go towards the bot side. Dragon is up. So I'm doing my best to try to shove this and then go with my jungler and just protect that dragon. But you could see Vlad's early wave clear is not great. But now that I shoved that in, now I can, if I had wards, I could try to get vision or try to go bot and try to do something there, but there's nothing I can do. So what I'm trying to do now is just shove this wave under the turret, but it's a little bit, like I said, a little bit harder to do. So my CS is about 8 per minute, which isn't the greatest, but it's not super terrible. And the fact that I've been pressured all game, is a win in my book. And if you're a late scaling champ, a late game scaling champ, then that's good. That's good. You want to just be able to, survive and scale. That's your win condition. Scale, get to a point where you can really be a huge threat. So right here, I see Raka take a lot of damage, and I honestly thought we could win here, but I didn't think, I thought, this is my fault. So I think we could have definitely killed if Soraka followed up or Kha'Zix, but I didn't ping that I was going in. And that's my mistake right there. I should have pinged. I should have said, hey, I'm going in. Then maybe they would have followed up, and I think we could have gotten a kill there. All right, I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. You could see 0-0-0. Nothing. I have done nothing this game. No action. And honestly, it's very boring. You'll get tempted to want to force a play, and I think I do force a couple of times here just because, you know, this is what happens. Games get boring like this, but you gotta expect this, especially when you're playing champs like Vladimir. So just be patient, wait for your power spikes. Again, CSing isn't the best, but it's also not super terrible, all things considered. But now my wave clear is starting to get better. I have a little bit of damage with the rod. I can shove these out much faster, and I can lifesteal much faster. So you can see I'm trying to just get some sustain on, you know, get some damage onto Senna. But I know right here I'm pretty low. I dodged the ultimate. Thank goodness I survived. But that was a pretty close deal there. Not the best of my trades. Again, I think it's part of me just being antsy. But I have been able to stay up in CS. Our experience, we're at about the same. So let me just move it back a little bit here. So I do see that my bot lane is roaming. So I don't have flash. I do have ignite though and my ult. So this is a good time to fight. I see Heimer is flanked around the back, trying to get my E. I do get my E on her. I didn't ult, which I think I should have ulted there faster. So I did ult the Kayn, which gets me the kill, but I should have ulted before that. And I could have landed it both on Kayn and Senna. And I think we could have gotten Senna as well. So I die there 1 for 1, unfortunate, but at least I get a kill, which is great. And now my bot lane, luckily, which is very ahead, you can see the Heimer super fed. Again, there will be games where your team is feeding and you can't do anything. And that's just what happens sometimes. You can't control that. You know, there are other people playing the game and you just have to hope that they are doing the best that they can as well. And so luckily my team this time is doing well. And so my job is to just keep scaling and get relevant so that we can ensure this win. They've done a great job holding down the early game. Now we're kind of transitioning into mid game with turrets going down. And so my job here is to try to put some damage in the team fight. So you can see I shove, but I don't shove it all the way in a turret because we don't have enough pressure in the mid lane. But I do shove it enough to where now I can roam, look for a team fight, because this is when Vlad is best. Yes, he can duel on a side lane, but honestly, his best strength is getting in team fights, doing a ton of damage to a lot of their team. So let's see what happens here. Looks like their Fiora is in there. She does get a kill on Soraka. I'm not sure if we get a return kill here. Oh, Heimer does get a lot of damage on a Kayn, actually kills her. So that's really good. So let's just fast forward here. Okay, I'm trying to follow my Kha'Zix. I see Kayn around there. Okay, so this is a mistake I make. So Dragon is up. Why am I going top lane? I see the wave there, and I think that's what I was pinging towards. But this is a terrible call on my part. I saw Kayn going down here. I know that Dragon's up. I'm a team fighter. My ult is coming up. This should have been me rotating bot. Now, that's the mistake. Now, the bigger mistake would be for me to then, realizing that mistake, go down and try to help my team after that. I already made a mistake. I'm already up here. There's no way, I don't have TP. There's no way I can get down there fast enough for me to do anything and be relevant. If anything, the fight will be over. I'll end up just feeding another kill. So it's best for me to just shove this lane and try to look and take some of their jungle. And if they can keep them distracted enough, then we can get something back. So even if you make a mistake like I did there, try not to compound that mistake by making an even worse mistake. So I made a bad play, but I'm going to try to get something out of it. So I shove it into their turret. Now I'm looking to maybe take a jungle camp, seeing if their blue is up. And it does happen to be up here. So again, bad play for me. They get the dragon, but at least I'm able to get more farm, more gold, more XP, solo XP, and get a blue buff. So not the worst thing, but again, trying to get something back. All right, so I'm gonna forward it back here, or rewind it back here. So a lot of things when you're a solo laner, make sure that when laning phase is done, try to go to a solo lane. A-ramming mid is not gonna help you get ahead. And I don't know what this Fiora does. Oh, I know what she does. She tries to get a demolish proc, so she gets really greedy, but I just poke her down really hard. I don't think she knew that I do a lot of damage. So I don't even think she tries to get out of that. I think she knew she was dead. She got really greedy for that demolish proc. I don't know why. It wasn't worth it. It's not like she got the turret down or anything. So I end up getting a free kill there, which is great. But going back to my point is that if you're a solo laner, try to get as much solo XP as you can. Now, I don't want to constantly be split pushing, but what I am going to do here is try to push to the turret as safely as possible, and then group with my team. And speaking of that point, I really like with Vlad getting a scouting ward, or if I'm split pushing with like Echo or something, like getting a scouting ward, because then you could scout kind of somewhere in the middle of their jungle and see if they're coming. Now, here's where I make a mistake. I see that they're pressuring mid lane turret a lot, and instead of continuing to pressure this turret, I end up going to farm his jungle camps, which would have been fine up until the point that my minions get here. Because now that the minions are here, especially this is a cannon wave, I could have got this turret down here. So now I do end up going for the turret, but it's kind of late. There's still somewhat pressure there, but I've been down here for so long that the team knows, like, they can respond easily by this point. My wave is gone. I'm not able to get this turret, and so now it's a waste. I could have gotten that turret if I had just stayed on it, or at least gone back, you know, when my minion wave got here. Now I'm going to try to get it, but Kane is already here. And so that's unfortunate. Now I do end up, I think, getting the kill, but he gets the kill on me. I get the turret. It kind of works out okay. 1 for 1. We get the turret. Fine. But I could have done that play a lot. I could have done, you know, a lot better if I had played that properly. So that's a mistake there on my part. Just going to fast forward a little bit. So I do end up going with stopwatch because of this Kane. It's a blue Kane assassin. So I don't know if I had a flash here, but I do Zanya's, and I don't think we get the kill either. My mistake here is that I shouldn't have Zanya's. I should have just held my E for longer and waited for him to get out of me. And once he did, I could have let go of my E, and I think I would have killed him. If not, I think I would have slowed him enough to then Q him, and we would have got the kill there. So I misplayed that. That's just me. Panic stopwatch, and also not being confident enough in my champion's abilities. That just comes with more gameplay experience. So we do end up getting the dragon here, and we see Fiora splitting. So me and Kha'Zix are coming up here. Now I don't think I could beat Fiora one-on-one, but with Kha'Zix here, I know that this is pretty free. She does end up riposting one of his abilities, which is good, but there's not really much she can do here. So she ends up dying. Free kill. And you can see that my mid lane is just doing the mid lane. Irelia, Raka, all of them, they're just doing a lot of really good stuff here. This is also, I think, a mistake for me, getting this camp right here when I should shove it. I feel like you should get your jungle camps if and only if there's nothing else to do or your waves are back. But I could have kept shoving this to create more pressure onto their side, which then allows us to get more vision. So that's a mistake on my part. So always looking for ways to improve, and I think that's why it helps looking back on your gameplay. This is why this is helping me. I'm seeing my mistakes. I'm seeing what I could have done better. I'm also seeing what I've done pretty well. Like, I think I stayed in the lane well enough to be able to do something later, even though my team is ahead and I'm getting carried. You know, had this gone more even, I would have then been a really relevant piece to this puzzle. But because our team is so ahead, I don't really need to be that, you know, I don't really need to do the carrying, but I'm still going to be strong. And so that's kind of a late game insurance. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap the game. I think they do end up surrendering by this point, and it's good. It's 19-37. We pretty much have a lock on this game, so they end up just surrendering. But if you like this content, then let me know in the comment section. Again, I really appreciate the support. If you like the content, then please do subscribe. It really helps. But until next time, hey, try not to be too toxic in your games, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.